me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Got a real good feeling. This place is jumping off hard as it can get. No, we won't ever stop dancing on the edge. We like it dangerous, we like to see you split. Turn up another notch, you ain't seen nothing yet. Let me tell you something. 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 Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Got a real good feeling. Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. I got a real good feeling.
Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's live stream, we are going to be discussing Cardano. We're going to be doing some technical analysis on Cardano, and I'm going to be showing you why I personally believe that we may be about to pull all the way back down to 72 cents in this live stream. I'm also going to be showing you guys some trade setups, and I'm going to be showing you where I am thinking about entering into a massive Cardano investment. We're going to be going over all of that and more in today's live stream. I am joined for this morning's Coffee and Crypto by our co-host, Not Crypto Tim. Hello, Tim.
What is up, everybody?
He is very pleased with himself
Very pleased.
for reasons that we will get to in just a second. We will get to that here in just a second. We are also joined by our standing-in producer, definitely not Hi Zach.
What's up, guys? Good to see you.
Definitely not Hi Zach is definitely not Hi. Guys, we are going to start off by going over our price predictions on Cardano yesterday. Tim, would you like to lead us on that? Because I think you're very pleased with yourself.
I am very pleased with myself. So, for those of you who were watching the show yesterday, we predicted what Cardano would cost today, what the cost would be. So, Team Jeb, who claims to be the voice of truth,
Oh my gosh,
was
this again.
very, 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 very far off
Oh my goodness.
with his prediction of 110.
I am the voice of the people. I like to predict high values
Yeah,
so
well,
that everybody can be very high.
This is my turn to talk. This is my turn to talk.
All right, let's go. Let's hear it.
Stand in Team
likes to
Tree or Team Zach for this time. Team definitely not High Zach.
What's up?
Decided to play the middle ground and just stand put on 105. He didn't want you to gain money or lose money. He just wanted everything to stay the exact same,
Hey, man,
which is fine.
just
I
telling
respect.
the truth out here.
I respect. But Team Tim, the voice of the people, who wants people to earn money, who wants people to be able to actually live wealthy lives, said what is
my
best for the
goodness.
people. If Cardano drops, people can buy it at a lower level, and then when it skyrockets later, we'll make more money. And Tim, this is actually history on the show.
Oh my
Tim
gosh.
predicted 103. and it freaking hit 103. Thank you very much. If you were Team Tim, you were on the right side of history. Stay with us because it's only going up from here. I'm learning more and more every single day. So not only am I doing what's best for you people, but I'm beginning to know what I'm talking about. And that's when I'm going to start getting dangerous.
You heard it here first, folks. He is beginning to learn what he is actually talking about. Clearly, he doesn't know what he's talking about, and he just got lucky. So Team Jeb, if you're in the house, drop a 1 in chat. I guess you were right. It looks like we're tied 2-2-2 right now, aren't we? Myself,
true.
Smay, who Zach has been filling in for, and Tim are all at 2. Price predictions being correct thus far. Tim, there is a story that came out of the NFL that we wanted to cover briefly before we got into the main point of today's video, isn't there? Would you like to cover that?
Yeah. So like I've been saying, man, when the sports world gets in on something, things get pretty interesting. So I was reading, actually I was scrolling Instagram, and I follow Sports Center, and they were talking about the offensive lineman from the Carolina Panthers named Russell Okung. So first of all, he's a pretty good offensive lineman. By no means is he like the best offensive lineman in the NFL or anything, but he's good. He's a starter for the Carolina Panthers. What's super cool about his story is he told the team in December, I want half my salary in Bitcoin, right? So he makes about $13 million a year, which is great money. I would love to have that salary. But by no means is that like a top salary in the NFL. You know, there's a lot of people who make more money than that. But because he took half his money in Bitcoin, when he bought it at 20, or when he got it at, I think the number was 27,000 when he asked for that. So right now, he turned that $13 million salary into $21 million, which makes him one of the top 30 paid players in the NFL, despite the fact that he is for sure not a top 30 player in the NFL. So my man who thought right and made the correct move is actually one of the top paid players in the NFL. I was doing the math. For those who follow sports, Patrick Mahomes, who makes $45 million a year, if he had taken the same strategy, would have made, I think it was like $67.5 million last year. That's just absolutely ridiculous. Please, football players, if you guys are watching, future football players, maybe take a lesson from the very wise Russell Okung and start asking for some payments in cryptocurrency.
I found Russell Okung's Twitter, and he says, it's been on February 18th, so a month ago, he said, it's been an incredible week thus far. Guess what? I'm not effing selling. You can see right here from the Wolf of Wall Street, the show goes on. Here's a couple of articles about this, guys. This isn't the main point of today's video. Just want to give a couple minutes for everybody to join on in. If you'd like to go and look into this more, I would encourage you to do so. We can see former Seattle Seahawk Russell Okung puts half of his salary in Bitcoin, and like Tim was saying, he has made an absolute buttload of money because that is what Bitcoin does. It makes a lot of people a lot of money. Really cool story. Shout out to Russell Okung. Good job for setting that precedent in the NFL. Guys, we are going to be jumping into some Cardano technical analysis. That's what you tuned in for. So drop a 1 in chat if you were excited. We are going to jump straight into it. Is there anything you guys would like to add before we go? Are there any questions in chat that we should answer before we get started? Because we have a lot to talk about on the chart today.
Literally, someone just posted, they said ETH 2.0 has been rumored to come out in the past 3 years, and even with the upgrade, it still takes a minimum of $4 to send. I think what they're pretty much saying is, like, we just can't believe in Ethereum. Like, we just don't know what to say. We talked about it yesterday. Ethereum has some exciting things coming up in the future, so by no means do we think Ethereum is a trash coin. But yes, I agree with, what was his name? I agree with Quentin Trader. There's ETH. For everything that ETH has going for it, well, we still have some questions. So it's kind of in a middle zone. Not a trash coin, but also not necessarily the greatest coin in the world.
Definitely not a trash coin, guys. We are heavily invested in Ethereum here. I want to make that very clear. We do, however, recognize that there are some things that Ethereum needs to work on as a project, and it could be better at. I do think that will end up happening, just to be clear on that. But we are talking about Cardano in this live stream because we think that Cardano has the potential to actually do a much better job than Ethereum at Ethereum's own job. We're going to talk about all of that and more in today's live stream. Make sure to grab your coffee and let's jump on over to the chart. Let me go ahead and get everything up here and we will get started. Let's do it, guys. So we have quite a bit of technical analysis to do, and then we're going to dive into some discussion on this. As you guys know, we'll be doing 2-minute technicals on Bitcoin and Ethereum at the end of this stream, so stay tuned for with that, this is where we are starting, but this is where we are going. Let's go ahead and do a bit of Cardano technical analysis. I'm actually going to find a different chart because this Kraken chart has a scam wick on it. Let's go to Bittrex. That's where my charting is. Great. Give me 1 second, guys. I am completely and totally prepared. Just so all of you know, there is never a doubt about it. Perfect. Okay, so we are looking at Cardano over US dollars on Binance. And as you can see, there is quite a bit that we need to look at. First and foremost, we need to figure out where our support and resistance levels are. Clearly, we have a resistance level up here. I'm actually going to go back to my other chart in the Kraken chart because that chart doesn't look right. We're going to go right here. There's a resistance level sitting at $1.50. And we also have a support level sitting at 97 cents right down here. That support level comes from our previous all-time high touch that we hit back on the 11th of February. You can see we rallied to it right there. We also see that there is going to be a strong level of support at $1 flat. The reason for that is something called mass psychology. If you guys understand the way people think, you can understand the way that people are likely to trade, and if you understand the way people are likely to trade, you can understand what the market is likely to do. It's a very important cycle of logic that you need to be able to follow there in technical analysis. The reason that's important is because it informs, excuse us, that $1 is going to be an important support level. And in fact, over the last 4 days, we can see that just that has happened. Zooming into the 4-hourly chart, we can see that there is a strong zone of support sitting between 97 cents and $1. In fact, just back here on the 12th of March, we pulled down to 97.5, around 98 cents, which is that bottom level of support that we talked about. And the top level of support at $1 was touched as support perfectly just this morning. Another thing we need to look at here on the Cardano chart is this downtrend right here. With this downtrend, we have what we would call a descending triangle pattern on Cardano. For everyone who was Team Jeb yesterday, the reason that we predicted $1.10 on Cardano was because we expected that Cardano would bounce and rally back to this resistance level, which would have put it at around $1.08. $1.08. I can speak today, guys. Forget about it. Make sure you have coffee so you don't stumble over your words like I do. That's why we had predicted $1.10, but unfortunately, Cardano is actually even more bearish than we thought it was, which is one of the reasons that we're talking about a 72-cent price target on Cardano today. A couple of other things that we want to talk about show up on our other charts. So I'm just going to jump over here. We have a very important support level that we're only going to see here, so let me show you. We have a touch back on 75 cents right here. You can see back on the 20th of February, Cardano hit a new all-time high of $1.20, and over the next day, we pulled back 40% in 2 days, down to 75 cents. Again, 75 cents is one of those psychological levels of support. A lot of people like to put their trades around a number like 75. People don't like to put trades at 72.3675 cents. They like to put it at 75 cents or 70 cents or 60 cents. Those big even numbers tend to be where people put their trades. So we have a support level at 75 cents. And we also see, if we look back over here in early February of 2020, there was an uptrending level of support right here, which we can go ahead and turn blue. And there was a flat level of resistance right here, which we can actually just consider flat, which means we were in a rising wedge. We were in an ascending wedge, and we broke bullish out of it. That means that 72 cents was our resistance level right here, which means that it's very close to 75 cents, which is another support level at the moment. So if we combine both of those levels, then we have a support zone right here between 72 and 75 cents. The reason that we're making a price prediction of that to 72 to 75 cents, I will show you, it's because of this. Guys, Cardano has been pulling back, setting lower highs and lower lows. It's in a descending triangle pattern, which 70% of the time break bearish. Again, 70% of the time, descending triangle patterns break bearish. They break to the downside. We see that Cardano has pulled back down to the dollar region, bounced, and pulled back down to it again. We've been stuck down here. Notice the last 24 hours, we have been stuck down here around $1.03. So yes, while Tim was correct, Tim's prediction probably indicates that we're probably going to go even lower. The fact that Cardano has absolutely no bullishness right now, the bears seem to be very much in control. It looks very similar to something that we saw in 2018 on Bitcoin. If you look back on Bitcoin, you will notice in 2018, I was here making videos during this entire time. Bitcoin had a strong downtrending level of resistance right here and a strong level of support at $6,000. What happened? We started pulling back. This period right here where Bitcoin started to just sit on top of the support level, not even bouncing off of it, that's the same thing that we're seeing on ADA down on the hourly chart right now. We're seeing Cardano is just pulling back, bouncing, but it's not actually doing anything. It's just trading sideways. So that movement is something that I have personally seen before in my experience in technical analysis, and it tells me that more likely than not, we are probably going to break to the downside. So there are the basics of our technical analysis. We're going to do even more in this live stream. Don't worry, guys. We have a lot to cover, but I want to open the floor for discussion. I want to get Tim's take on this, and I want to read some comments and see what you guys think on this, because I do actually believe that there's a greater chance than not that we're about to have a large pullback of about 30% down to 70 cents. What are we seeing in chat, Tim?
Yeah, no, I think, sorry, a lot of people, I think, would love your opinion on this. So if you're predicting potentially dropping that low, right?
Yep.
Would you say sell right now and then buy back in lower? Are you saying just hold? Because you're saying there's a good chance it could get down there. Are you absolutely certain it would break it all the way down to 72?
So those are two different questions. So
Yes.
let me answer those separately. Number one, am I absolutely certain? No. I'm going to get into that in a second. Number two, should you sell and buy back in lower? Also no. Let me start with that one. Actually, no, I'm going to start with the other one. Am I absolutely certain that Cardano is going to break to 72 cents? Tell me in chat, because there's a lag in chat, so you'll type before I say that. Do you think that you should be able to be absolutely certain in a prediction? Because, guys, this might seem tangential, but it's actually absolutely foundational. Technical analysis carries no certainties. Some people think that technical analysis, if you do perfect technical analysis, you'll have a perfect hit ratio. That you will be right 100% of the times if you do your technical analysis right 100% of the time. I can do my technical analysis completely correctly, and the technical analysis still be wrong. I'm wrong if I do the technical analysis wrong. But if I do my technical analysis right and the prediction doesn't come true, then what that means is that the chart didn't follow the technicals. That does happen. That's not a cop-out on a technical analyst point. It's the same thing that we've talked about in sports many times. All the greats in history, what do they have? They might have the most wins, but they probably also have the most losses. They probably also have the most game-winning shots that they missed. They probably also have the most strikeouts, because just because you are the best does not mean you're always going to be right. So are there any certainties in technical analysis? This is something we talk about a lot. No, there are not. It is still valuable because statistically speaking, over the course of hundreds and thousands of trades, being right more often than you're wrong is what is actually going to lead you to profit. So am I certain we're going to pull back to 72 cents? No, I'm not certain we're going to pull back to 72 cents. Any technical analyst worth their salt can never give you any certainty, because that's not the nature of the game. I'm not reading the future. I don't have a crystal ball. Technical analysis needs to have its expectations set. So no, I'm not absolutely certain. As to the question of should you sell now and buy back in later, I would say no. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion, but I would encourage you to ask a couple of questions. Number one, what is your risk tolerance? How much risk are you willing to take? Because selling now and buying back in later is risky. What that is trying to buy the dip. That's called trying to time the market. What I do is that if I'm going to buy, I'll buy right now, and then if it drops, I'm going to buy more. I don't sell here and then buy back down here. That's called trading. That's called shorting. That's fine. If you're trading, that's fine. We got to separate these two things. If you're trading and you want to short this breakout, I'm going to show you that trade setup. But as far as an investment, you don't want to try and time the market and start shorting when you're investing. There is no place for longing and shorting inside of an investment. The nature of an investment is that you buy and you hold for an extended period of time over 12 months. If you are invested in Cardano, I would highly encourage you not to sell Cardano and try and buy back in lower, because then you're turning your investment portfolio into a trading portfolio. However, if you are a trader, then yes, there is a trading opportunity here. We're going to give you a trade setup for that in a little bit. So pay attention to that. Let me just kind of briefly go back over that. Number one, there are no certainties in technical analysis. You cannot be certain of anything in technical analysis. The reason that technical analysis is so incredibly valuable is over the course of hundreds and thousands of trades, you will be right more often than you're wrong. And statistically, you will come out on top. We've talked about how it's the same thing as counting cards in Vegas. If you're right 52% of the time and you play 1,000 times, you're going to make more money than you lost. It's like playing the lottery, but you win 60% of the time and lose 40% of the time. Sure, you're going to lose some, but in general, you're going to make money. That's what technical analysis is. Should you sell right now? That depends on if you're a trader or an investor. If you're a trader, there's a trade setup we're about to give you. Sure. If you're an investor, I would encourage you not to sell right now. So that's my opinion on that. Great question. Did that answer it well?
No, I think that answered it actually very well. And I think what people need to remember is we've talked about this a couple times. Trading is a lot like playing cards in Vegas. When we're looking at technicals, this is like learning how to count the cards. The fundamentals, how to play the game, are still very, very crucial. And you could count the cards perfectly and know the probability of the ace being played on the next card is very low, but then the ace could be played. So like I think someone commented like breaking news could make Cardano jump to 150 or drop down to 75. He's absolutely right. Breaking news could, but you can't count on breaking news. You can count on knowing the technicals, and you can count on looking at the trends. when the breaking news happens, then you respond to that, but you can't predict breaking news. One thing we can predict, and I think this will play a factor, and that's why I think Jeb has said he's not 100% certain it'll drop to 72. There's just signs it could. Is we are about to get stimulus checks back out. People have commented on that. That's absolutely true. Stimulus checks are going to throw a big wrench in the game. It's as if you were playing cards and a new deck got put in. We got to start recounting, But until that deck has been put in, we can't really make any predictions firmly on those. We have to go off of what we actually know right now.
Yep. And guys, that's one of the things that we try and be very serious about here at the channel is it can be very tempting for us to clickbait you. It can be very tempting for us to say, hey, we're going to just say this to get views. We don't get the same number of views as a lot of crypto YouTubers, and we're fine with that. Because at the end of the day, we don't run this channel for the sake of getting views. We run this channel for providing the highest quality information that we possibly can, because it is our mission and our vision and our goal from this channel to help provide you with financial freedom by teaching you the mindset, the skills, and the methodologies to make money by trading and investing in cryptocurrency markets. Technical analysis is just one of those methods, but it's the one we focus on the most. It's not our mission to clickbait you. It's not our mission to lie to you. It's very tempting for us to say, hey, Bitcoin's going to go to $200,000 when 2 minutes from now. That would get a lot of views. It would be breaking a core value of ours, which is integrity. From an integral point of view, it is incredibly important that I clarify to you guys, the foundation of technical analysis is not looking for certainties, it's looking for probabilities. That's why in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, we talk about that. It's called, the video is called A Game of Statistics and Probabilities. Cryptocurrency is not about certainties, it's about statistics and probability. So I think we've made that point. I think we can move on. I want to talk about a little bit what our plans are if Cardano pulls all the way down to 72 cents. And I'm just going to put it out on the table, and I want to discuss it with Tim and you guys a little bit. I am planning on buying a ton of Cardano if it does indeed pull down to 72 cents. What are your thoughts on that, Tim?
I completely agree, and the reason for that is we have seen enough from Cardano to know it will make that bounce back up. Now, if it was showing signs of dropping like that because of fundamental problems with its project, now we have a different issue. The reason it's pulling back that far is because it was overextended this whole time. A coin that's overextended and drops down is not a bad coin. That's actually a great coin. So I'm in the same boat as you. I don't know how much money I have to invest in it, but whatever I do have, because I try to invest a little bit every single week, I'll probably use a very large percentage of my weekly investment money into ADA if I see that. I would say if it drops below 80, I'll get very, very aggressive. I'm already going to be pretty aggressive ahead of that, but especially if it drops below 80.
Yeah, guys, we are very aggressive on the Cardano project. We are very big fans of the way that it is operating, and we freaking love the idea of getting invested more in Cardano. We have large holdings of Bitcoin. We have large holdings of Ethereum. I am looking to build our portfolio in Cardano. So if you guys are interested in knowing what we do, we already have large holdings in Ethereum. We already have large holdings in Bitcoin. In fact, I'll let you in on a secret. Over half of my net worth is in cryptocurrency. We are looking to put even more into Cardano. So if you want to know what we're doing, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not going to give you financial advice on this channel, but I can tell you what I'm doing. I'm looking to buy Cardano. And this is one of the big points that I want to make in this live stream is I want to make sure we look at corrections correctly, because a lot of times when we say, hey, Cardano's going down, or when we say, hey, Bitcoin's going down, or Ethereum's going down, we get hate in the comments. We get hate because people are like, no, you're wrong, you're stupid. Bitcoin is not going to crash. Bitcoin's going to go to 200K tomorrow. Like, no, not necessarily. Sometimes markets need to correct. Take 2008, for example. Was that not actually a very good thing for the economy because it made us realize, hey, the whole subprime mortgage industry, this has to stop. There needs to be regulation on this. There needs to be better laws. Corrections and recessions are actually a very healthy thing for cryptocurrency markets in the same way they're a very healthy thing in general economics, in the same way that controlled burns in a forest are very important for the health of the forest, so that all of that undergrowth doesn't build up and lead to a much bigger fire 20 years from now because you didn't have a fire every 2 years to wean everything out. Corrections are a very healthy thing. So I want you guys to look at that way. Whenever we talk about a potential correction on Cardano or on Ethereum or on Bitcoin or on whatever, it is not because we don't like the project. We will tell you if we don't like the project. For example, I don't think you should invest in Dogecoin. I think it's a terrible coin to invest in. Is it funny? Absolutely. It's hilarious. If you want to buy a little bit for that reason, go for it. I don't think it's a good investment. We do think Cardano is a good investment. And that is why when we say Cardano going down to 72 cents is a thing to be excited about, is because think about if you want a flat screen television, it costs $500, goes on discount, only costs $300. Are you going to get upset? Or are you going to say, no, it's worth $500? No, you're not going to say that. You're going to say, I'm going to buy some of that because it's worth $500. I could buy it on $300 and I could go and sell it for $500. I'm going to make a profit. Or you could just buy it for $300 and keep it and use it. But the point is, you're not going to get upset because of something you want going on sale, because the value of the television didn't go down. The price of the television went down. We have to separate those two words. I talked about this in yesterday's stream. Watch that stream for context. The value and the price of things are two completely different things. A television might be valued at $500, but because there's a Black Friday sale running, the price might go down to $300. But that didn't change the value of the television. The television is valued at whatever it is. Nothing changed in the product. Cardano, nothing has changed in the value. If anything, the value of Cardano, what it is actually worth, we call that the underlying intrinsic value here at the channel. That underlying intrinsic value has gone up, if anything. So the price going down, what that means is that there's a larger differentiation between the value, what it should be priced at, and the actual price. If the value's up here and the price goes down, what is that? That's an opportunity for a trade and an investment. You can buy this price with expectation that it's going to rise to the value and you'll make profit. I hope that made sense. Separate the idea of value and price. The price of Cardano might go down, but that's not us saying the value is going down, which means that there's an opportunity for investment there. What are your thoughts on that, Tim?
No, I completely agree. And someone was even asking, like, is it safe to buy right now? The truth is, yeah, like you could buy right now. Like, if you look at charts over a long period of time, like for example, I mean, look at Bitcoin, like the crash that happened last year in 2020 during COVID and everything. People, what was the bottom of it?
$3,900.
It got to 39. Okay, so on the way down, at one point it was at 5,000. At one point it was at 4,000. If you told me right now, Tim, you could have bought Bitcoin at $4,000, I would be ecstatic. That would be a lot of money, right? But theoretically speaking, for the next couple of weeks, it continued to go down. If you buy right now into ADA, it might continue to drop for a little bit. It might get down to 72 cents. It might drop below, 80 cents or whatever. That's okay because we're predicting a drop. We're also predicting a bounce back that will lead to profit. So right now, purchasing, you will still see profits. Right now in Bitcoin, if you buy right now, despite the fact that we're sitting, I mean, I think we're down below 55 at the moment, correct?
Something like that, 55, yeah.
But we're hovering around, I mean, 55 is all-time high 2 weeks ago, So if you buy right now, you're not going to, just because let's say we drop down to 51, you will temporarily lose money before we bounce up to 70 and then 100 and then 150 and then who knows if someday it gets to 1 million. If you bought right now in a bear market, you would still make money long term.
And really quickly, let me chime in and give you the philosophy behind this, because guys, this is so incredibly important. This is the foundation of investment, what I'm about to tell you, so please pay attention and understand this. What he just said exemplifies the point I was making of value versus price. The price of Bitcoin went down to $4,000, but the value of Bitcoin was very clearly up in the $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 range. Why? Because that's where we went. The value of a project will attract the price. Temporarily, the price might go away from the value, but eventually the price of a project goes back up to wherever it's valued at. If the underlying intrinsic value of Bitcoin is $200,000 today, then you can bet your bottom dollar in the next 2 years, the price is going to go up to match that. The value, the underlying intrinsic value, what it's actually valued as, is invisible. You can't put a number on it. It's not tangible. However, it is real. And it's something that we need to think about and internalize, because we can't look at a number and say, oh, there's the underlying intrinsic value. Great, cool beans. Going to wash my hands of that and move on. You can't do that because it's intangible, but we cannot forget it. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not important. The value of Bitcoin is very high. Why? Because we know, based on the price continuing to go up and up and up and up and up, that the value must be way up here. Else, why would the price be going up? That's the same thing that we want to look at on Cardano. If the value is up here at $1.50 or $2 or $3, then sure, buy Cardano right now. Go for it. If the value's up at $2 or $3 based on the backing project, dope. Forget about the price, guys. People think, oh, let me look at the price. Let me look at the price. Is the value of Cardano going down? The price went down, but is the value of Cardano going down? No. Nothing has dropped the value of Cardano over the last 3 weeks, ever since it retraced from $1.50 down to $1. Nothing has impacted the value to make it go down that I am aware of. The price has gone down. They're two separate things. I know I'm harping on this. I know I've said it like 4 times, but I'm saying it again and again and again so you guys get it. It's very important that you look at it this way. Go ahead.
I'm going to ask a question for Alex W, because I answered the question in chat, but I think he wants to know your answer as well.
Cool.
Are you purchasing ADA right now? And I told him that I'm purchasing a little bit. I'm waiting a little bit to get more aggressive. But that being said, I have plans to buy. I've been purchasing it, and I'm going to continue to purchase ADA in the future. What is your thoughts?
So I have plans to purchase it whether it pulls below $1 or not for our company. If it pulls back to 72 cents, I'm going to be more aggressive, but I am planning on buying it probably today or tomorrow, to be honest with you. I'm probably going to buy at these levels at $1, and if it goes down, I'll buy more. I'm talking about investment purchases right now. I'm not talking about trades. We're going to get to a trade setup on Cardano here in a second. Remember, investing and trading are two different things. Yes, I am looking at buying opportunities, and that's something that we're actually going to be talking about, Tim and I, for the company a little bit later, is whether or not we want to enter Cardano and how much we want to enter in on Cardano. So yes, if it stays where it is, we're buying. If it goes down, we're buying. If it goes up, we're probably still buying. Why? Because we see that the value of Cardano is very high. Why? Because of its fundamentals. That's what we have to look at. So, great question. Great question indeed. Any other thoughts on that? If not, I'm going to move on to some price targets and not price predictions, some trade setups. I know you guys love to see trade setups, so let's go ahead and do just that. I'm going to go ahead and jump back on over to the chart, and I'm going to show you a trade setup. Guys, it's very, very simple. Remember, whenever you're about to set up a trade setup, it doesn't matter what your prediction is on the market. It doesn't matter. It does not matter what you predict is going to happen on the market. Whether your prediction is right or wrong makes no difference on whether or not you can make a profitable trade. You got to separate those two things. What matters is if you set the trade setup correctly. So let me show you a trade setup for a short trade on Bitcoin. If anybody doesn't know what shorting is, type it in chat, and one of our moderators or somebody in chat can explain shorting. I've talked about it a lot, so I'm not going to go into it. It's betting against the market. A short trade setup right here would look something like this. I would put an entry price around 95 cents. I'm going to go ahead and double click this and set an exact entry price at 95 cents. I would put a price target down here around 77 cents. I'm not going to put it at 75. Why is that? The reason I'm not going to put this this price target at 75 cents is because sometimes what you'll see happen is you'll see a big pullback and you won't pull all the way exactly down to the support level, but you'll get close. Let me give you an example of that on Bitcoin. Bitcoin had a price target a few weeks ago of $42,000. Where did we pull back to? We pulled back to $43,000. So if you hadn't have taken that into account, you might not have actually triggered your you might not have actually triggered your exit position, and you may not have gotten out of the position at the bottom. So another point to make on this is, number one, you should always be watching any trade that you are actively in. If you are in a trade, you should be watching it. Trade automation is fine. It's something that you should set up, but you shouldn't rely on it. If you were trading, watch the trade for the entire time it's up. Never leave a trade up overnight. It's very important. So with that said, if you see Cardano starting to bounce around 80 cents and it doesn't pull down to 77 cents, you can update that plan of yours on the fly. You can update this trade setup on the fly and actually exit a little bit earlier. Another point to make on this is that even though you can't set it up like this, I don't think, on TradingView, it is not a bad idea to set up laddering in and out of trades. So for example, what that means is that you could sell 33% of your trade at 82 cents, you could sell 33% of your trade at 80 cents, and you could sell 33% of your trade at 77 cents to try and make sure you catch the bottom. It'll help with the market fluctuations because you sometimes don't go down to the exact level of support. So our entry price looks to be around 95 cents. The reason for that is because that's far enough below our support level at 97 cents that that's probably not a fake out. That is probably a break to the downside. You'll only want to enter that trade if you see a large volume candlestick. Why? Because when you're having a breakout, if you don't see a large volume candlestick, it is probably a fake out. If you do, however, see a large volume candlestick, then it's probably a real breakout, and you probably are about to see a large movement. Watch for volatility, watch for fast movements. If the market's moving like in this case, a few cents an hour, then that very well may be a real breakout. Use wisdom. This is why we don't rely on trade automation. So an entry position with those caveats around 95 cents makes sense. An exit price around 77 cents, again, with laddering out. Maybe you have an exit at 75, maybe you have an exit at 80 also, and 33%, or you break it up into 5 exits of 20%, whatever. You can do it however you want. This is why you write out your trades. And then we will also have a stop loss, of course, because no trade is complete without a stop loss. We should have a stop loss around, I'm going to say, 97 cents. If we pull, actually, I take that back. I'm going to pull this stop loss all the way up to $1 to have a more conservative stop loss. This is where wisdom comes in, guys, making sure that you're using stop losses with wisdom. Right now, I'm going to pull it up to around $1. The reason for that is because it's possible that Cardano will dip a little bit, bounce, and then fall again. We don't want to get stopped out of a trade in a manner that is not necessary. So, again, that's like for the 5th time why you watch these trades and you don't rely on automation. So what that does is that gives us a trade setup with a risk to reward ratio of around 3.6. That's a pretty good number. Remember, guys, with trading, we want to look for between a 2.5 to 4, or well, 2.5 and above risk to reward ratio. This is a good trade. This is a great trade setup. By the way, I said earlier, you don't need your prediction to be right. I could be predicting right now, which I'm not. I'm predicting a downtrend. I could be predicting a bullish breakout. Does that make any difference to this trade down here? No, it makes no difference because this trade doesn't get set up and doesn't get entered unless we pull back below 95 cents. So it doesn't actually matter which direction the market breaks out. What matters is, do we see volume on the breakout? Do we see volatility on the breakout? Do we feel, based on our intuition and our experience, that this is about to pull to the downside? Did we set up a good trade with a good risk-reward ratio? When you do enough of these little disparate things well, what ends up happening is you're increasing your chances of making a profitable trade. And over the course of hundreds or thousands of trades, in general, you're going to come out in profit. Don't expect to be accurate on every single trade. Remember, even Michael Jordan missed game-winning shots. The most experienced traders are going to make a mistake. That's why even the most experienced traders should use stop losses and technical analysis. So that's my trade setup, guys. I think it's a good trade setup. I'd love to hear your take on that in the comment section. And also, by the way, tell me if you'd like to see some more of these trade setups on stream. I'm more than happy to do them. I think that answer is going to be yes, but I'd love to hear it in chat. Tell me what you guys think. What are we seeing in chat, Tim?
No, I think a lot of people are commenting in and agreeing. Or there's been a couple questions I feel like Zach and I have handled answering. Overall, guys, as we move into our 2-minute technicals of other things, we want to let you guys know because there has been a lot of questions. I've been answering questions on trading platforms and what people should use. So it's a complicated answer, but we're going to answer it for you guys right now. If you are inside of the United States, there is how do you phrase it, Jeb? There's Bybit, it's like against terms of service in the United States to use Bybit, right? That would be our top recommendation, to use Bybit, but inside the United States, that can't be used. There are a couple different platforms you theoretically could use. However, we heavily recommend and we use Binance US. That is the one we were telling you. We don't even have any relationship with Binance US. That's just the one that we think is the best one to use. But again, do what you want to do. However, if you are outside the US, Bybit is a great platform to use, and we do have an affiliate link. So if you want to support us, you can check out in the description our link to Bybit and trade there. That is actually the greatest way we have found, and you should definitely be using that. So hopefully that answers everyone's questions on how to trade. But that being said, to give you guys a good example, we were just talking Cardano, and now Jeb is about to, unless there's any great questions. Zach, do you have any questions that you saw that were good ones?
Not seeing a whole lot, to be honest with you. I think it just of course we have the course, so if any guys are interested in how Jeb trades and how he uses his chart, C2A is a perfect course, so go ahead and check that out in the description.
So what we're about to jump into, and you're going to see a great example of how Jeb goes about his thinking for trading and how he does it. As we talked about before, he treats it like a game of cards. He knows how to play, but he also wants to learn how to count the cards to have the greatest probability. So he's going to show you in a blank-to-bank format. For those of you who have never seen the show before, we're moving into a segment called 2-Minute Technicals. So today we're going to break down Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then I think we haven't decided. Let us know in chat. We have a little bit of time before we get there. Would you guys rather see him break down Binance or Polkadot? Let us know in the chat. We're giving you permission to go ahead and spam for just a second. And then we'll tell you when to turn that off. But you're going to see him break down the technicals and why it's so crucial if you actually want to make a lot of money trading, why you need to use technical analysis in that process.
Absolutely, guys. So if you're ready, let us know in chat, and also consider putting a reference coin that you would like to see 2-minute technicals done on. We're talking top 10 here. It's really between Polkadot and Binance Coin. Unless something crazy is happening, we're probably not going to do analysis on anything other than that today. We might in a future stream, but look forward to some Bitcoin and Ethereum 2-minute technicals starting right now. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on over to the chart, and we are going to dive into some Bitcoin TA. This is the chart that we are heading to, but this, my friends, is where we are starting. Going to go ahead and clear all of this out, and I'm going to show you how I do something called blank-to-bank technical analysis on Bitcoin. This is the method of doing TA, where we take a completely blank chart, and I walk you through every single step required to do technical analysis on any given market so that you can understand what's going on that market, and you can then understand how to trade that market. Again, what Zach said is that this is what we teach in CT2A. We'll talk about that here in a second, but let's go ahead and get started. The very first thing I like to do in the blank-to-bank format of technical analysis this is define our support and resistance levels. We'll get to trend lines here in a second. Of course, we have a resistance level at $58,400 on Bitcoin. That was the all-time high we set on the 21st of February. And of course, we have a resistance level at 62,000 because that is the level of resistance and the all-time high figure that we set back on March the 13th. We also know that there are a few support levels. For example, at $42,000, that was a previous all-time high touch back on the 8th of January. And we have a support level sitting here at $43,000 because that's where we pulled back to on the 28th of February, right here. I think I said February earlier. This was the 8th of January, excuse me. What this means is that since $42,000 and $43,000 are so close to each other, that means that this is a zone of support that we could expect to catch us in the future if Bitcoin ever needed to pull back that far. I'm also going to draw another level of support, and I'm going to put it at $55,000. You might be wondering, Jeb, why would we put a level of support at $55,000? I'm so glad you asked. The reason is because looking at the math psychology of the market, people like to put trades around big, even whole numbers. What's a big, even whole number close to where we are right now? $55,000. Why? Because it's between $50,000 and $60,000, and it's right there in the middle. People like putting trades there. Those numbers generally end up being major support and resistance levels. I mean, notice $42,000, $43,000. Those are even numbers. So too is $62,000. Anywho, zooming in down to the 4-hourly chart, because we've kind of run out of things to talk about on the daily chart, we're going to look for some trend lines. And the very first thing that jumps out at me is an uptrend. I want to let you guys pause the stream right here. Do you see an uptrending level of support on Bitcoin? If you don't, I'm going to go ahead and show you. It is sitting right here. The way that I found this, guys, is just by connecting the dots. It really is that simple. If you've ever played like connect the dots or whatever in kindergarten, we're connecting this dot right here, this dot right here, and this dot right here. Notice how this trend line connects all three of those bottoms. That is how we identify support and resistance trend lines. It's a trend line because it's not flat. If it's flat, it's a flat level of support or resistance. In this case, since it has an angle to it, it's a trend line. So that's the trend line that we're being caught at right now. As far as our analysis is concerned, guys, we've talked about how Bitcoin looks like it's in a cup and handle formation. So we are at an important decision point on Bitcoin right now, because if Bitcoin breaks bearish here and breaks our uptrending level of support, which is probably going to be decided today, if we do that, our cup and handle formation that we discussed yesterday is invalidated. If you want more information on that, go watch our video we uploaded yesterday. We talked about just this. I believe that was in yesterday's video. If it wasn't in yesterday's video, it was definitely in yesterday's live stream. If we break bearish below this uptrending level of support, that cup and handle formation is now going to be invalidated. However, if we bounce here and we start rallying back up to $58,000, $60,000, we're likely to rally all the way to $75K, $80K in the next month or two. That would be a major breakout. So let's zoom out and figure out what the analysis is saying, because it will provide us some valuable insight. Looking on the daily chart, RSI and MACD, we're going to see some things that are interesting. The RSI hit a relative high of 73. It's pulled down to 57. That is not necessarily great, but the fact of the matter is 57 is a place that you will find support being found many times. In between 50 and 60, RSI likes to bounce around there. Not really too much to write home about on RSI, but one thing that does concern me is that if we keep the current trend and we break that uptrending level of support I just showed you, it is very likely that Bitcoin's daily chart MACD is going to cross bearish. And as we know, every time there's a bearish cross on MACD, generally speaking, a large corrective movement follows. That would likely see Bitcoin pulling back to $50,000 or lower. So guys, this is why I call it a decision point. If Bitcoin breaks 55,000 and our uptrending level of support, we're probably pulling all the way down to 5,000 or even lower. If we don't do that and we break north, we're more than likely heading to all-time high and beyond. This is why we talk about decision points. Another thing I want to show you is the fact that Bitcoin just bounced off of something called the 20 daily exponential moving average. We talk about this in the course. This is a very important moving average, and as you can see, our wick pulled down to almost exactly where it's sitting at $53,400 and change, and we have currently bounced there. We'll see if that holds. If that breaks, that's another confirmation of a new downtrend. Very important. Another thing to look at is volume. We can see that there's a large red volume candlestick right here, which validates this downtrend and indicates that we could continue lower. It shows strength in that downtrend. One last thing I'll show you before moving on to our actual analysis and where we think it's heading is the fact that we hit a 9 flash on the TD sequential just a few days ago, and that does indicate that Bitcoin got quite overextended and definitely was in need of a correction. So as far as that's concerned, Bitcoin is at a decision point right now. If it bounces off of 55K and maintains a rally for a few days, it's likely that we're going back to $62,000 and beyond. If, however, we break below $55,000, we're more than likely heading to $50,000 and maybe even lower. So you can look at a trade setup on that. I'm not going to go into the exact trade setup. I showed you guys how to do trade setups earlier, but I'll go ahead and tell you, if we break below, it's really about $53,000 actually. What's up, Tim?
There's a couple people saying in chat, did you say $5,000?
I may have. I meant to say $50,000.
That happened for those who are knowing. Sometimes you got to know how to to know what Jeb was trying to say.
Yes.
Sometimes when he's talking that fast, he says things he didn't mean. He meant 50.
Excuse me. I meant to say $50,000. I do not think Bitcoin's going to $5,000. I never think we're going there again. What I was saying, though, is that if Bitcoin breaks below $53,000, I said 53, right? If we break below $53,000, that is a potential trade setup for a short trade. If, however, we start breaking north and we break all-time high, there's a long entry there. So that's our 2-minute technicals on Bitcoin. We'll talk about Bitcoin more in future videos, so stay tuned for that. What do we have going on in chat?
I didn't start a timer. I'm sure that was longer than 2 minutes, but I think it's all good
longer.
information.
Yeah.
I also want to just remind people, 50,000 is still a month ago a massive all-time high. You know, like, so that's just because you hear him saying, hey, it might drop below 50. That's just not a bad thing. It's just not scary whatsoever. It actually could be very good for Bitcoin.
Yep.
Yeah. Let me look and see if there's any. Zach, did you see any questions that were good?
No, not a lot of questions out here.
Yeah. No. A couple people asked about platforms again. Like we said before, we recommend Bybit. We have that link below. Another thing, we haven't even said this whole stream, and we're actually going to do a much better job on the show of not pressing this. Hey, guys, if you guys like this content, if you are finding this very helpful, make sure to hit that like button. We're not going to say it again. Make sure you hit subscribe to be able to continue to do these shows and continue to give you guys the content you need to make very informed and wise decisions. We have to exist as a channel. And so the more likes, the more subscribers, the better we look as a channel, the more we can continue to hire people that give us better information and help us provide a higher product for you. So hit that like, subscribe. We won't try to like manipulate you guys into doing it. At the end of the day, sometimes that's tacky. We just want you guys to be the best informed you can be.
Absolutely, guys. And I really appreciate what Tim said there. We don't want to like go crazy with that stuff, but it is very important that Zach switches the camera to me.
It's just on me. Okay.
Zach forgot to do his job. It's okay. I'm so glad I have the screen up over here so I can check that. Anyway, what I was saying is that we're so very appreciative that you guys have joined the channel. We're so very appreciative that you guys like the videos. We don't want to push it too much, though, so that's the end of that. Let's go ahead and move on to some blank-to-bank technical analysis, some 2-minute technical analysis on Ethereum. We're kind of doing both at the same time. We're doing 2-minute TA on a blank-to-bank format. So we're going to go ahead and move on over to Ethereum because I know you guys are very excited about Ethereum. And this time I'll try and make sure I speak correctly. We'll see if that comes to fruition or not. You can see my chart on Ethereum is quite messy. We're not going to need all of this, so I'm going to go ahead and switch over to another chart and delete everything, and we will start from scratch. This is blank-to-bank technical analysis on Ethereum. This is how I start analyzing a chart. If I want to go here, I have to start here, so let's go ahead and do it. Guys, we need to start by finding our resistance levels and support levels. We have a resistance level at $2,044. We also have a resistance level at $1,944. Those are the last two local highs. One is an all-time high on Ethereum. Looking for support levels, we're also going to find a few of them. There's a support level that I can pretty obviously find right here around $1,400. That shows up as a level that we used as resistance over here and support here. And remember your context, guys. $1,400 should jump out at you because that was the previous all-time high back in 2017 as well. Excuse me, it was actually in January of 2018. That is why that level is important. And if we zoom out here, just take a quick look at this. This was our previous resistance level. It is now our support level. That's a very good thing for Ethereum, is when we use previous resistance as new support. We talk about that quite a bit. Anyway, guys, we've seen the last several weeks on Ethereum. In fact, the last 2 weeks or so have been pretty bullish. Ethereum has been rallying about 30%. A lot of people are concerned about Ethereum and Bitcoin correcting, but like Tim said, $1,800 was a fresh all-time high on Ethereum just about a month ago, so don't get too concerned over a 2 or 3 day corrective movement. Looking at the RSI and the MACD, we are going to see something that we should be taking into account, though, and that is the fact that the MACD looks like it may be about to cross bearish as well. We want to keep a close eye on this corrective movement on Ethereum the same way we want to keep a close eye on the corrective movement on Bitcoin to see if we're actually going to break south. And the reason that that may be even more likely on Bitcoin, or excuse me, on Ethereum than Bitcoin is because of this trend line right here. Remember the concept of connect the dots. Connect this dot, connect that dot, boom, connect this dot. Looking down on the hourly chart, we can see that Ethereum is sitting right on its support level. If it bounces here, great, fantastic, cool beans. If it breaks below it, though, however, we're probably going to $1,400. So we also want to look at this. This is called an inverse head and shoulders pattern. I actually forgot to show you this earlier, but there is an inverse head and shoulders pattern showing up on the hourly chart on Bitcoin, so pay attention to that. That could be a bullish reversal signal. So there is a potential inverse H&S showing. We also see, similar to on Bitcoin, that there is a strong level of support at 1730. Guys, something you need to keep in mind is a lot of times the Ethereum US dollar chart and the Bitcoin US dollar chart will look very similar. They both move together, so don't be surprised if two charts look like almost identical. This support level at $1,700 is well substantiated. We have tests all the way back here in early February. We have several tests recently, and we also pulled back to it just now. So that 1730 mark is a very important level on Ethereum. We have the inverse head and shoulders pattern, which along with this support level could cause us to bounce. It's the same thing as on Bitcoin. There is a possibility that it bounces and rallies to new all-time highs from here, but we don't want to bet on what we haven't seen yet. So based on the technical analysis, we need to say, as definitively as we possibly can, that Ethereum is in a decision point. Ethereum is deciding what it wants to do next. There's technical to back up the idea of it moving to the upside, and there's technicals to back up the idea of it moving to the downside. It actually doesn't do you guys any favors for me to tell you where I think it's going to go, because it actually doesn't matter. Remember, you want to make your trades after the market has made a decision. When the market is indecisive, we don't try and be decisive. Remember, guys, we want to follow what the market is telling us. If the market is screaming at us, hey, there's a 90% chance we're going to rally, okay, great. Go into a long trade. If the market's saying, boom, we're massively overextended, we need a correction, then great. Go into a short trade. But if the market is indecisive, we too need to be indecisive. Why? Because we want to mimic the psychology of the market in ourselves. If we do that, we're more likely to make profitable trades. So when Ethereum and Bitcoin are indecisive like they are right now, they're trying to decide if they want to break to the downside or break to the upside. We want to be indecisive also and simply wait and be patient. That's key word, patient. So that's a very important word to speak over you guys. We want to wait and be patient, see what the market's going to do, wait until the market has a little bit more certainty, and then we have a leg to stand on if we want to make some trades. So that's my technical analysis on Ethereum, guys. If we manage to hold $1,730, we're likely to rally back to all-time high. If, however, we break $1,730, we're likely to pull back to $1,400. There are plenty of trade setups you can make there. I'm going to skip that for now because we'll do some more detailed trade setups on those cryptocurrencies in the future over the course of this coming week. So tell me what you guys think about that in the comment section down below. Was that valuable? What do you guys think? Any questions in chat, Tim? Anything that we can cover really quickly?
I think people are saying that Bitcoin currently is going up. I'm not. I mean, look over there real quick.
It's at 55.5.
Yeah, people are asking, is the correction already over? I think the simple answer is no.
The simple answer is no. Somebody said that earlier. I'm not saying this to hate on the person that said it, but I am going to point it out just because it's something that if you fall into, you're going to make a mistake of. We were talking about how we think Cardano is going to break down to 72 cents in this video, and someone said, ever since he started streaming, Cardano is going up. We need to be clear on our time frames here. We're talking about Cardano going, and I guess this is our fault, but we're talking about Cardano going to 72 cents, not in the next 10 minutes, guys. We're talking about Cardano going to 72 cents more than likely in the next 3 to 7 days. That's our time frame for that prediction. We can't be exact. Remember, guys, we can only be as certain as the market is certain. The market's not exactly sure when it's going to happen or even if it's going to happen. So we need to mirror that in our predictions. I don't want to be egotistical and prideful and clickbaity and say, it's going to do this and I can guarantee it. Why? Because I just said so. No. I want to be as humble as the market is going to make me and tell you what I know. I am pretty sure that Cardano is going to break to the downside, and I think it's going to take about 3 to 7 days to happen. So if Cardano is moving up in this video, that doesn't invalidate anything I said. It actually makes no difference. What would make a difference is if it broke a major level of resistance and had a breakout and MACD cross bullish. That'd be one thing, but it hasn't done that. So anyway, that's a bit of a tangent, but it's actually very important. You guys have to adjust that mindset. That's why we harp on that so much. Tim?
Yep. No, that's exactly what I was saying. Like, just because things bounce up and down, which is great, it's just volatility. You know, that's all it is.
Yep.
Before we move on to the next one, by the way, we're going to be doing DOT. There is,
okay.
I want to be fair and let you guys know, those who voted for Binance Coin or BNB, I saw the comments. We will definitely talk about BNB in the future. But for today, during our segment of time we had, DOT was for sure the more popular vote. So that's the one we're going to go on. But that being said, this show is just helping you guys see Jeb's technical analysis. Zach mentioned it earlier, but if you want to be able to read this technical analysis for yourself, let's say you're really involved in coins. We can't cover every single coin that exists, but if you have a coin that you really, really, really like, If you want to learn how to read the technicals, Jeb has created an entire course called CT2A, which is 12 hours of information that took him thousands of hours to find, years to find, and it breaks down how to be able to tell the difference between a good coin, a bad coin, when they're in a bull market, when they're in the bear market, how they're moving, and what to predict. Again, it's not a perfect prediction, but it's the same idea of like when you play cards, and I feel like we've said this several times, but I just want to hammer this home, is that like imagine going to Vegas to play blackjack, and you know how to play the game, but then even more so, you know how to count the cards, how many more times you'll win. And in this case, in trading crypto, you can't get kicked out of the casino. So it's a win-win. If you are looking to up your game in your trading capability and learn how to invest and predict the market, the core CT2A is actually super perfect for you. We heavily recommend you using it. I think we only have a couple more days left at we're running a special right now called Smee the Tree for $75 off. Yep. I want to let you guys know that is going away very, very soon. And this is, this is not a thing like manipulate you guys to go buy. That sale's going to go away, and we're probably not going to have a sale for a long while. So you guys need to go ahead. If you want this at a cheap price, go ahead and get it right now. And that's all I'm gonna say on it. But look in the bottom, and I'll give it back to Jeb.
And guys, he's being very serious about that. It's not that we're trying to be like, hey, we're not doing the whole marketing tactic of saying, hey, go buy it now because the deal's running out. We're actually going to stop running sales on CT2A for a while and sell it at full price, not because we don't want to give you guys sales, but because we don't really want to do the whole thing of like, hey, you got to buy it now because you're running out of time. We want to stop doing that. We just want to sell it for what it's worth, and it is very much worth $349. It took me literally thousands of hours to learn what is in that academy. If you would like to learn more about technical analysis, what we do in that course is we don't just teach you technical analysis. We don't just teach you how to do chart reading. We teach you how to think, so that you can actually do this stuff on your own, because there's a bad habit in cryptocurrency of people running to their favorite YouTuber and saying, hey, what is he saying? I'm just going to follow him blindly. You shouldn't follow humans blindly. That will lead you to destruction in just about anyone you follow. You want to follow anyone you follow, not blindly, but in an educated manner. Don't follow me blindly. Question me. If you disagree with me, let us know. Let's have an open discussion here. I am not the Messiah. I don't know everything, guys. I never claim to. I don't have a crystal ball, and I don't know things for exact perfectness. I am not perfection incarnate. I am fallible, and by the way, so are you. So that's why we want to teach you how to think. That's why we want to teach you mindset principles so that you can go out there and actually do it on your own. That's what we teach in CT2A, and that's what makes us different from everybody else, is I'm not here to give you the answers. I'm here to give you the method by which you can get the answers on your own so you can be confident in your own trades and investments. The link for that is in the description box down below. We're going to move on to some Polkadot technical analysis, and that's going to wrap us out from there. So let's go ahead and jump on over to the chart. Guys, this is my Polkadot chart. It is a bit of a mess right now, so let's zoom out to the daily chart. I don't think I'm going to do blank-to-bank technical analysis on Polkadot. I don't want to get rid of all of my analysis here, but I'll go ahead and run you through the basics. First and foremost, we have resistance up here at $42. That was our all-time high figure. Seriously, guys, don't get intimidated by this. This might look a little bit crazy, but I promise you it's not as complicated as you think it is. We have resistance up here around $42, and we have support right down here around $30. Remember, guys, on my chart, the way that I do this, my setup is red is resistance, blue is support. Right now, $30 is support. $42 is resistance. Looking down on the 4-hourly chart, Polkadot is still, it kind of broke out of it, but actually I just need to adjust my trend lines, is still in a sideways trading channel. I will go ahead and get rid of some of these. Some of this doesn't need to be here. It will just confuse you. You can see that Cardano, I keep saying Cardano. You can see that Polkadot is in a symmetrical triangle pattern right here. We have a downtrending level of resistance right here and an uptrending level of support right here. Until we see a major breakout of that on Polkadot, we just have to wait. Again, guys, I know you hate when I say this. I can sense it. I can feel it. I can smell it. I can tell that you don't like it when I say we need to wait, but we actually do. Right now, Polkadot is in a sideways trading channel, and until we see a major breakout of one of these trend lines, we just need to play as if this is the only region that Polkadot is in. As far as what Polkadot's about to do, we can look at that inside the trading channel. Right now, it looks like Polkadot is bouncing down here around $32, and if this MACD cross down here actually crosses bullish, we could see Polkadot rally all the way back up to 37 cents. This is a potential trade that you could make. I wouldn't recommend it. I would wait for the actual major breakout on Polkadot and trade that, but you do whatever you want. This is not financial advice. When or if Polkadot actually breaks out, it will have an entry price around $39. If it breaks to the downside, it'll have an entry price somewhere around here, around $32. You can ride that down to our flat level of support, or you can ride that up to our flat level of resistance, and these are your two trades. Here's your long trade, here's your short trades. Really simple, guys, not complicated, doesn't need to be. This is a pretty simple chart. We're simply waiting for a breakout on this symmetrical triangle pattern. Whether or not it breaks north or south, I can give you my opinion, but again, it doesn't matter because you'll make the trade after the breakout. RSI RSI is sitting pretty low right now, around 52. It's trying to bounce around 50. That could indicate that we're sitting pretty. It could indicate that we're going to move to the upside since we haven't moved below 50. But MACD is still very bearish and actually diverging bearish, which indicates bearishness. Again, when the market's indecisive, we are indecisive. When the market is certain, excuse me, the market's never certain. When the market is pretty sure, we want to be pretty sure. Right now, since the market's indecisive, we don't want to try and be pretty sure because then we're not following the market. To be good analysts, we have to model our mindset and our psychology about the market after what the market is showing us. Right now, the market is showing us indecision, so we need to be indecisive. Is the market going to break north? Is the market going to break south? We don't know. We can wait for that breakout, though, and the minute it breaks out, then we can enter a trade and we can make profit off of it. So that's my analysis on Polkadot. Really simple, guys. Doesn't have to be complicated if it's not complicated. Hopefully that was helpful for everyone watching. Tim?
Yep, I think that's about it. We're going to wrap up the show. I know I'll make sure if there's any good questions. Another thing I actually want to point out, because we've actually had a lot of people ask questions. I do my very best to respond to as many questions as possible in chat while also helping host the show. Zach, sitting in the seat right now that Smay's usually sitting on, they both try to answer as many questions as possible. We just want to apologize. We can't answer every single question, but what we could do, and I put this in the chat, and I think it's in the description section. If you have a question we're not able to answer on the show, we do want to answer all of your guys' questions. So email us. We have an email at support@cryptojeb.com that you can ask any and all questions.
Which is in the description below.
Yes, you can ask any and all questions, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. But that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the stream with our ending prediction. So, for those who have been kind of in here and they're, we have our Team Jeb, our Team Tim, our Team Smay, or Team Tree. I don't even know. Are we calling them Team Tree?
I think we should call them Team Tree.
I think it's Team Tree. And today we have a team, definitely not Zach, stepping in for Team Tree.
Definitely not Zach.
Definitely not High Zach.
Definitely not High Zach.
He definitely should be.
It's definitely not Zach. It's definitely
not High Zach. Definitely not High Zach. So we're gonna predict which coin do you guys want to predict today? We done 88 Bitcoin. I think it's fair that we do Ethereum. I think Ethereum is up next. So first of all, let's go look at what it is sitting at currently.
1785.
1785. That's what we're gonna go with. 1785. All right. So we're gonna do what we've been doing the last couple days. Is we're all gonna write down our answer or type it, however we want to do that, so that we have good honesty, and we're not just dirty balling and cheating people's answers. So what we're doing is we're predicting what this will look like tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. And let us know in the comments while we're writing our answers down and we're predicting. Let us know what you guys think it's going to be at, and we will have the answer for you in just a second.
I have the chart up right now. I'm doing some technical analysis on Ethereum, trying to see what I would like to come to. They can see it right now. Sitting above 1720. Volume. EMA. Let's see. VPVR. 4 MAs. Ooh, okay. 4 MAs.
It's fun.
Yep. All right. Let's see here.
I got mine.
Got yours?
I'm locked in.
All right. Let's see. I'm looking.
Got a lot of people asking if we can do Link, do some other things. We will for sure. If you guys ask a lot of questions and you guys keep commenting, we see a lot of demand for different coins. We will do them. Today we're running out of time, but we will also in the future do some coins that are not necessarily top coins, but ones that are moving very aggressively, either upwards or downwards, to help you guys out with those.
Yep. I'm still generating mine, trying to use some good old-fashioned TA here. Okay, I have my prediction. I believe I am ready.
Zach, you ready?
Yes.
All right, Jeb, what you got?
I believe that we are going to be trading at 1800 flat.
1800 flat.
Yep.
Okay.
1800 flat.
All right. Zach, what you got?
I believe, actually, opposite. I think we're going to go to 17.5.
17.5.
17.5.
Predicting a drop.
Is that 1750 or 1705?
Yeah, 1750.
1750.
1750. All right.
I could see that. That was my original prediction. I changed 1800.
So we got Jeb believing in a slight not correction. It was actually like a bump
Slight
back up.
move to the upside.
Slight upside move to 1800. I like the pick. I like the choice. We got the pessimist Zach kind of wanting to hover / slightly go down. That just seems to be a common ploy we've seen from him over his
Pessimist.
3-day trend. I mean, if you're a pessimist, if you just wake up in the morning and you
you're just
feel
sad.
like the world might burn, you might be a definitely not high Zach guy.
You might be a definitely not high
It might go
Zach.
down. You might be able to buy a little bit more in. You know, it's not a bad thing.
It seems
it's
like
gonna go up.
It seems
It's
like
gonna go
just
up.
a very safe pick. It feels like you just really reach for safety is what you really go for. You know, Jeb, I like Jeb's pick because I'm in the same category of thinking that I think Ethereum's going to jump a little bit. But here's the thing, and this comes to my daily rant about Team Tim.
Oh my goodness.
Here's the thing, guys.
no.
I am the voice of the people.
You're the voice of
It is
annoyance.
clear that
You're the voice
that
of
I'm the
people's
voice of the
nightmares,
people.
Tim.
Listen, I just want to point out his cup is broken.
Listen-
Who drinks
Yeah.
out of a broken
That's a
cup?
good point. Look at
Like,
that. Switch to him,
This
Zach.
guy is not normal.
Show it to
All
him.
right,
Show it
You
to him.
shouldn't
Show
listen
him.
to
You-
if he's
you
the voice
thought-
of the people. He's the voice of a.
You're the voice of
broken- I don't know.
abuse. You broke your coffee mug, bro. Mine actually has a handle.
You thought that you would come at me for my broken cup as if that was a negative thing. This is the thing, guys. First of all, to Tim, there is no one too broken that they can
Oh
still not be
my
utilized in this
What a
life.
plea.
What a play.
This cup has personality, and
Yeah, it
Tim
took it
wants
all
to
from
know,
you.
No matter what has happened in your life,
Oh my god.
you are still very usable, just like this coffee mug.
You hear that? He said he can use you. He said you're usable. He said you're usable, and he's gonna use you to win.
That's called
Don't fall for it.
putting words in mouth.
It's called quoting you, sir.
I haven't even gotten to get my prediction yet. So
I
you guys
know,
need to
because
let
you're
me-
being a politician
No,
over here.
What I'm trying to do is help people understand the mindset in which their president Tim comes at every single one of his predictions. People like Tim like other people.
Oh
So if
my
you
gosh.
like other people, you're probably Team Tim. And here's the thing. I don't think Ethereum's going to get ridiculous, but I do think Ethereum is rising back up. And I went with the number 1,874. And the reason for that is because we're going to bounce back up. No matter, just like this cup, it had a rough day in the mail.
Had a rough
That's
day in the
okay.
mail.
That's okay. It's coming back.
I mean, seriously, whenever you write fragile on a box, it literally just prompts the dude that he's just like, yeet, they just throw it against the wall
I
and
want
break
people
it.
to know also, your North Fresh Coffee.
Yep.
Tristan, I know you're
Shout out to
listening.
Tristan.
This is not your fault. This came in the mail this way, but like I said, people like Tim, if you are Team Tim, that means you're the type of person who takes things that others look at as broken, like Zach.
My goodness.
Zach would have thrown this in the garbage because that's what he thinks about that. Team Tim
Dang.
looks at this and says, no, this still has value. I still give it value, and I will still utilize it in my life. If you agree, you should vote Team Tim in the comments right now.
Tim, you are literally that politician who walks around saying, hey, I support this. And then you talk to the other person, you're like, hey, I support that. And then somebody calls you out and you're like, hey, those two contradict. And you're like, no, they don't. They're the same
I don't
thing.
think that I think you're just making a statement that has no evidence to it whatsoever. I'm the type of person who loves people.
You're the kind
and
of
I
person.
do what people
You're the
want.
kind of person who manipulates
Whatsoever.
people
But
into
don't,
voting
hey,
for Team
also,
Tim.
those who are listening, don't listen to these two voices.
Don't listen to
try
this voice.
tarnish the good that I'm trying to do for you.
Don't listen to
people.
Team Tim trying to manipulate you into voting for him, even though he doesn't
This-
have your best interest
You
at
know
heart.
what?
He just wants to win.
Let's leave it. Let's leave it up to the comments to decide what they think.
Okay.
You guys sound like Debbie Downers. I
Sound like a
to see the bright
realist.
things of life.
We take
Let us
integrity
know.
very seriously, and Tim is very clearly trying to trick you. Just saying.
So someone asked comments. Just so you know,
So does Tim have a soapbox under his desk? That's great.
I might have
he
this.
actually does.
My prediction is sitting at 1874. So 1,874. Jeb's is at 1,800 flat. And then Zach is at 1,750. Those are the final predictions. We will give our answers, or we'll see who is right tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Let us know in the comments what you think.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's live stream. We started off today by doing some technical analysis on Cardano. We talked about our price prediction on Cardano and where we believe that Cardano is going to move to. We think that more likely than not, Cardano is going to pull back to around 72 cents. We talked about our entries. We talked about how we believe that Cardano, if it does pull down to 72 cents, that we are going to be buying into Cardano. And even if it doesn't, we're probably going to buy it anyway because we think the value of it is very high. We think it's a great project, a project with a long future. Then we did some 2-minute technicals on Bitcoin, and we came to the realization that, hey, Bitcoin has a strong level of support at $55,000. If we break that, we're likely to head to 50. If, however, we hold that as support, we're likely to move to the upside. The market market is indecisive, so we want to be indecisive as well. We don't want to try and get certain when the market isn't certain. That's simply not good analysis. And on Ethereum, we saw a very similar thing. Around $1,740 is a strong support level. That's our decision point. If we break below that, we're probably going to $1,400. If, however, we hold support, we're likely going to move much higher. Again, there's not a lot of certainty in the Ethereum market, so we want to reflect our psychology from what the market psychology is. If the market's indecisive, we want to be indecisive too. I hope you enjoyed today's live stream. I guess that's going to wrap it out, guys. Are there any final thoughts?
That's it.
Well, guys, before I go, though, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.